Hello, sports card collectors and investors. I hope that everybody is having a great Friday. To be honest with you, I'm pretty happy that it's the end of the week. It's been a long work week, and I'm ready to just kind of get to the end of it, enjoy the weekend, although we have to clean out the garage this weekend, so it's not exactly going to be all fun and games over the weekend. But I hope everybody is healthy and safe and had a good week so far. So for this video, I'm going to pretend like it's payday, and I'm going to pretend like I've got $1,000 to spend right now and what I would buy with that $1,000. So I picked out 4 sports cards that I'm going to go with, and these are ones I feel pretty confident that if I had $1,000, these are, to me, these are safe bets for my collection, for my investment taste. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. My first card that I have picked for this is the 1980 Topps Larry Bird Magic Johnson rookie card. And this, you're probably going to roll your eyes like, oh, well, you know what? I'm going kind of safe. I'm not picking any. I don't have any players here that are going to be absolutely shocking. I'm going with somewhat of a safe bet for this video. Maybe I'll go with some of my more riskier picks in the next one. But for this one, I'm going with some safe bets. And so just looking at recent sales on eBay, I'm looking at Larry Bird Magic with Julius Erving, that Topps rookie card of theirs, in a PSA 7 has recently sold in the $900 to $950 range. And so that's one where, and you might be able to eke out an 8 for $1,000. I would just say I would probably go for the highest graded Larry Bird Magic Johnson rookie I could get my hands on in PSA. Not to discount a BGS either. I mean, if there's a really solid BGS graded card, I would take a hard look at that. It's an iconic card. I mean, Bird and Magic, we've talked about it. They were the kind of the precursors to Michael Jordan being a superstar in the league. And I just think if we're talking about all-time greats, I mean, of course you've got, the Wilt Chamberlains, the Oscar Robertsons, you've got the George Mikens, you've got, a bunch of different players, that are popular, obviously, but for me, the popularity of basketball really surged in the 80s, and it started with these guys. It started with Bird and Magic, and it then morphed into, and then it went nuts with Michael Jordan, and then it branched off from there. And when Jordan came in, that's when everything kind of really skyrocketed for the NBA. That's when the NBA started becoming a money-making league and a wealthy, popular franchise, is when these guys came into the league. So I'm just thinking long-term, it's probably a pretty safe bet, this rookie card. And so I would just try to look for that best condition I can get for $1,000. Right now it looks like that's in a PSA 7, and like I said, I mean, there's some 8s. And if you wanted to go with, like, there's some that are off-center, that PSA grade where it's like 9 but OC, or it's got a stain or something. I mean, it's all depending on your taste. I would probably just rather have a straight up grade 7 than have an 8 that's off center for the same price. But that's just me. I mean, that could be, everyone has different tastes. So that's my first pick, is that Larry Bird Magic rookie. Next up, I am going to go with one of my favorite current players, and a lot of people, I'm no different than a lot of people, Luka Doncic, taking the world by storm, and I'm on that train, man. I'm not even a Mavs fan, but I pull for the Mavs. I just like, that Porzingis, Luka combo, and just because they're the underdogs in the West. I mean, you've got the Lakers and the Clippers, and there's so many good teams in the West that control the West. The Mavs are kind of that outside team that nobody really gives a whole lot of, thought to, but as far as offensive output before the season was stopped, I believe they were #1 in the NBA as far as offensive output. I don't know if that's points per game necessarily, but per possession, there was a stat that I saw, and so essentially they are the most high-powered offense in the NBA, which I thought was really cool. So anyway, I'm kind of pulling for the Mavs. I'm not a diehard Mavs fan, but just it's exciting to see a young guy like Luka come on so quickly. And so I'm pulling for him. His cards obviously are expensive, but for me, I mean, if I'm thinking long term, and the part of the reason why I'm picking it is I believe Luka is the truth. I think that he is, outside of Giannis, I think it's kind of Luka, Giannis running the league for the next 10, 15 years. Those are my thoughts. Now, of course, there could be other players that come up that take those guys over, But for me, I think that Luka is, for my investment, for my taste, I'm okay putting money into him because I'm a believer. I'm sold. So I picked the 2018 Optic Holo, not a PSA 10, but this actually, the one I found was a BGS 9.5, and it sold for $999. So, you know, I think I would probably stick with that same thing. I don't know if I'd want a BGS 9 necessarily at $1,000. That's a lot to spend, but a BGS 9.5 with some decent subgrades at $1,000 to me for that Optic Holo card, which it's the rookie, and I think that that's going to be, you know, down the line, I think that's going to maintain a solid popularity with fans. I know Optic has come on strong, you know, over the last couple of years, so if I had $1,000, I would feel pretty comfortable going with that card. I mean, the PSA 10 pop count for this card is 186. I don't know what the BGS pop is for it, but still, I mean, there's 186 at PSA 10, so not a boatload of them out there. And granted, there's some that are still in sealed wax and everything else, but again, I feel good about it at $1,000. I mean, I think that's you know, still kind of a decent value. And I know that Luka's cards are very high, they're priced high, but I would be comfortable spending $1,000 on this card. Next up, I'm switching over to football, and for all you non-football people, hang in there with me. You know, I'm still learning about, you know, there's some people that are strictly basketball or strictly baseball, or, you know, don't sleep on football cards, especially the next couple that I've got. So I picked the Joe Montana 1981 Topps rookie card. In a PSA 9, this one is right now going for about $950, right at that $1,000 mark, which is a little high considering the PSA pop count on it is 1,871 at PSA 9. And so I know a lot of people kind of be like, yeah, it's a little much to spend, but I'm just thinking about, again, you're looking at the iconic players, you're looking at the, you know, the GOATs and the people that are going to be there. You know, who are those players? And I think that you know, that's going to be, you know, Montana. You know, he's going to be one of those greatest quarterbacks of all time. He's up there, and it's an iconic card, that 81 Topps football card. If we're talking about football cards, that's one that it's one that, you know, a lot of people are trying to collect, they're trying to get. So is that going to be a popular card down the road? Absolutely. And the 49ers have a long-standing fan base that will be chasing that card. So even if you're not, you know, necessarily a 49ers fan, maybe you're an investor, but if you just go back to that fan base, Montana is the QB there, other than Steve Young, you know, but Montana is the one and Steve Young is the two, and that's pretty much it. I mean, Montana is the king of NFL quarterbacking for the San Francisco 49ers. So, you know, for me, that's a somewhat safe pick. Again, I'm not crazy about that pop, you know, at 1,871, but still, I don't think that's a terrible value. That I would be very comfortable going with that card. But you know what? I would feel more comfortable with the next card, and I'll explain why. It might be obvious to you. So it's going to be the guy that idolized Joe Montana as a kid, Tom Brady. His 2000 Bowman Chrome number 236 in a PSA 9 has been selling right in that $1,000 range. Again, the pop is a little high, 1,283 at PSA 9, but still, it's like, you know, Tom Brady is probably the safest football card pick, just as far as, you know, now granted, you know, values can go up and down and who knows, but as far as picking a player, this guy's got more rings than anybody. He's got 6 rings. He's been the QB of those teams. He's led them. I mean, he's a legend. He's the GOAT. So, I mean, you know, it's kind of like when we talk about Jordan cards and Jordan rookies or Wayne Gretzky, or, you know, who are the GOATs in those particular leagues that you're looking at. And those, I mean, I think those are as safe as you can get for cards. Now, you know, cards can go up and down. We all know that. There's, of course, tons of risks that goes into it. But, you know, these guys are tried and true. They're proven. They've got Hall of Fame careers and arguably, if not, or inarguably, the best that ever played in their sport. So, like I said, these 4 were kind of obvious picks, but I was trying to make kind of a fun Friday payday. If I had $1,000 to spend right now, what I would pick up, I would be really happy with any of these 4. I do own a Joe Montana PSA 8, which I think is right around the $200 mark. So you see the drop off there. you know, $200. You go to PSA 9 and it's $1,000, and then a 10. I'd have to take a look at what 10s look like, or even what the pop report is. I'm sure it's wild, but I don't own any of these other cards. Oh no, I'm sorry. I do have a Bird Magic rookie, but it's a PSA 5, and that one I got for, again, $250 a couple of years ago. So yeah, I mean, these are all kind of, you know, they're iconic cards that, you know, are ones that I think anybody would like to have in their collection. And so for investment, I just think that over time, these are fairly safe picks. I'll make another video of ones I would like to pick up that are more risky, because I think there's a lot of players too where it's like you could get, you know, one of one of a player that maybe isn't as proven. But I think that'd be a fun video to make too. So I'll do some research into that, and I'll let you know where I would go, you know, as soon as I do it. So hey guys, thank you again for tuning in. I hope everybody had an awesome week, and we will see you again next time. Take care.